guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I have a drugstore full coverage, full glam prom makeup tutorial as my first video in my prom checklist series. Thinking back to myself when I was going to prom in high school, I know I was on YouTube Googling all these tutorials and all the prom related videos, getting myself so excited. So I wanted to be able to create a little series that would do the same for you guys. When I think of prom makeup, I think super bronzy, super glowy. I created this neutral smoky eye, kept most of the depth on the outer corner, that way the inner corner would still be bright and your eyes wouldn't look closed out in photography. I know I did my own makeup every year for prom, but I didn't always have access to every high-end product, so I wanted to make sure I kept this really affordable and kept all my products drugstore, that way it would be easy for you guys to recreate. So if you guys want to see how I created this look, then just go ahead and keep on watching. Step I'm going to take is just make sure my skin is prepped, so I just moisturize and wash my face, and then I'm going to go in using the e.l.f. Poreless Face Primer and do a tiny bit of this and mainly just focus this product into the T-zone. Okay, so I just thought I was filming my foundation clip and I completely applied my entire face of foundation without recording, but I used the L'Oreal Infallible. This is a 24-hour wear and this is in the shade 490 Golden Amber. This foundation sits really nice on the skin. It's super lightweight, so it doesn't feel cakey or anything. The longevity of this foundation is really impressive as far as drugstore goes. This will be perfect for dancing and then lasting throughout the rest of the super lightweight consistency. So I just applied this using my beauty blender. I'm just going to build up a little bit more coverage around in my redness just so you guys can see how it goes on the skin. Really nice fresh clean scent to it. Next I'm going to go in with my concealer. This is the L'Oreal Infallible Concealer that goes with this foundation. I'm just going to go in and highlight my under eyes with this. Super comparable to Shape Tape with the giant doe foot. I feel like drugstore is really catching on to the trends in high-end these days and really giving high-end products a run for their money. This stuff is super full coverage. And I'm just going to go in and blend this out using my beauty blender. So I am loving that concealer and foundation combo these days. I think they would be perfect for an event like prom. Next I'm going to go in and bake my concealer. I'm using the e.l.f. HD setting powder. This is really the only drugstore setting powder I've tried out these days. Super fine powder, so it goes on really nicely and doesn't leave your skin feeling cakey. So I'm just going to go ahead and set my face with this. Okay, so while I allow my concealer to bake, I'm going to go in and fill in my eyebrows, and I'm using the Catrice Slimatic Brow Pencils. These are super affordable. I have medium and dark. These are waterproof and they last really nicely. They're super precise, so they're a really good affordable option, and then they're also retractable, so you don't have to worry about sharpening them or anything. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to go in using the e.l.f. Wow Brow, and this is in taupe. This is just a little bit of a gel. This is just going to help me lock my brows down in place and then also give them a little bit more pigment. So it's just a really small spoolie like this, and I'm just going to brush that through. I feel like when I fill my brows in using a pencil, I always like to have a little bit extra insurance using a gel product on top of it to make sure that everything's locked in place. After I filled in my brows, I went back in using the L'Oreal concealer. On this larger concealer brush, I just picked up a little bit of product and then swiped underneath the edges of my brows just to clean everything up and keep things looking sharp. This is the Morphe Glamour Bronze Face and Body Bronzer in Megastar, and I'm just going to go in using a big powder brush and warm up my face and my chest. Next, I'm going to go and use my e.l.f. Turks and Caicos Bronzing and Contouring Duo, and I'm going to take this shade on a Morphe small little blush brush just to give my face a little bit more definition in photos. Okay, so I'm not going crazy with that. It is a super deep shade, but I did just want to create a little bit of a shadow underneath my cheekbone, and then I also just wanted to give a little bit more definition to my nose, just for picture. After that, I'm just going to go into my Morphe Blush Trio and Pop of Rose. You get 3 shades in here. I'm actually going to dip into this deeper one that looks more of like a bronzer. This just really helps warm up the face and give a little bit of a rosy look, which I really like in photos, just so your face has more color to it. To highlight my face, I'm going to go in with the Wet n Wild highlighting powder, and this is in the shade Precious Petals. This is just a really warm highlighter. If you're going for a bronzy look, I think it's really important to choose a warm highlighter as opposed to like an ashy chrome highlighter. I just picked this up on a Morphe brush and then apply that to my cheekbones. This stuff is super pigmented and it will definitely give you a bright glow. Into eyes, I'm going to be using the Morphe 350 Nature Glow Pen. I just picked up the Jaclyn Hill brush set from Ulta, so I'm going to be using most of these brushes to create this look. First brush I'm going to take is the JH30, and I'm going to pick up this shade right here, which is this light cream shade, and I'm going to set my concealer using this shade just with a big fluffy brush. I did use my concealer as a base to my eyeshadow there. Next, I'm going to take this shade Bake right here, also on that JH30 brush. Next, I'm going to go in with the brush JH32, which is just a little bit of a smaller blending brush, and I'm going to pick up the shade that's right underneath Bake. This is just a little bit more of a deeper brown and build up a little bit more definition. So I pretty much focused that shade in the same area that I did the first shade. I just built that one up a little bit more to create just a little bit more depth. Next, I'm gonna go in with this dark matte brown, concentrate that really on the outer corner and build up a lot of darkness, and then smoke it out onto my lower lash line as well. Next, I'm going to take that same matte brown and this pencil brush from Morphe, this is the M506, and smoke that out along my lower lash line. I'm going to keep this on the outer half of my eye. I'm not going to drag this into my inner corner because I want to make sure that the inner part of my eye stays really bright. Okay, so I couldn't find any drugstore matte black, so I just picked up Zero from Urban Decay. This pencil brush, and I'm going to focus this on the outer corner. I'm again going to go back in with one of those blending brushes. I'm not going to pick up any more product. I'm just going to make sure that there's no harsh lines where we applied that matte black. Next, I'm just going to pick up this Cool Tone Metallic shade. I'm going to take that shade on my finger and apply it to the center of the eyelid, but a little bit more focused on the outer part. I'm going to go back in with the Infallible Concealer on this small concealer brush. This is the JH41, and I'm just going to carve out my inner corner to make sure the shade that we put on top of that really pops. On that same brush, I am just going to pick up the shimmery shade up here and pack it onto the concealer. Just gonna go in with a clean shadow brush and kind of lightly dust the two shades together just to make sure that they blend. . 'Cause I'm gonna go in with a clean shadow brush and kind of lightly dust the two shades together just to make sure that they blend. 'Cause I'm gonna go in with a clean shadow brush and kind of lightly dust the two shades together just to make sure that they blend. 'Cause I'm gonna go in with a clean shadow brush and kind of lightly dust the two shades together just to make sure that they blend. While I'm dipping into that shade, I'm also going to use it to highlight my brow bone. I'm going to go in with the original brush we started with, the H30, and just kind of make sure everything is nicely blended. The lashes that I'm going to be using are the Eyelure Vegas lashes. A little trick for when I apply false lashes is after I trim them, I'll just apply the glue and then I'll set them aside while I do my liner and just give the glue time to set so it's tacky and it's not a super big mess when you're trying to put them on. So I'm just going to go ahead and do my liquid eyeliner. I'm trying a new one today. This is the Wet n Wild Smudge Proof Felt Tip Eyeliner. That liner was really black and it dried down really matte, which I like. It definitely wasn't the easiest felt tip to use. I'm gonna curl my lashes and then I'm gonna apply a light coat of the L'Oreal Voluminous just to help blend my natural lashes with the false. Okay, so this doesn't have to be anything crazy. You just want to coat your lashes with something so they're not completely naked when you're trying to blend them. I'm going to pick up my lashes. I usually use tweezers. I've already trimmed them and applied the glue, so now the glue is really tacky. And you want to apply them kind of downward. So the lashes are upward instead of outward, if that makes sense. Okay, so those are the lashes applied. I think it's definitely key to give the glue a few minutes to set before you start putting them on your eye. If you immediately go to put them on after you've applied the glue, then it's just going to turn into a mess and the glue's not going to be tacky. It's just going to slip all around. Once you have a little bit of a tacky finish, it's easier to kind of drop the corners where you want them and move them around. I'm going to go back into my Morphe palette. I'm going to go in with a small little pencil brush, the shade we took here, and I'm going to dust that along the lower lash line on the outer half. This is just going to smoke things out a little bit. Next, I'm going to go back in with the pencil brush and the lid shade and the shade that we use to highlight our brow and just really make sure we get a good highlighted inner corner. This is really key to making sure that your eyes stay really wide and bright in photos. This is the NYX Liquid Lingerie in Bedtime Flush. I really like this pinky nude. I'm going to go back in with a little bit of my bronzer and my highlight just to make sure things are looking really bronze and glowy. I'm also going to take this Wet n Wild highlighter and just highlight my collarbone a little bit. And then I'm also going to go up and touch up my cheekbones. I think prom is one of those events that you can never be too glowy for. I like these highlighters because I feel like they don't accentuate your texture. Even if you have a little bit of roughness around here, it just kind of melts into the skin and sits really nicely on top of your foundation and doesn't attract the eye to any texture. Alright you guys, that is my drugstore full glam, full coverage prom makeup tutorial. I hope this video got you guys feeling inspired to try and do your own makeup for prom this year and save yourself a little bit of money. I am a hairstylist and a makeup artist, so I know how expensive all the prom appointments can add up to be. If you guys want to see the next video in this series, don't forget to subscribe before you leave and leave me a comment down below and let me know if you guys have any other ideas for me. I'm not sure if the videos that I wanted to see when I was going to prom are still relevant in today's world. Guys, again, so much for watching and I can't wait to see you guys in my next video.